We're at French Creek Marina in Parksville with Nolan Terris. He's a local guide in the area and also works for Parksville Boathouse. Parksville Boathouse has generously offered us a use of their boat for the day, a 2025 Kingfisher. So let's go out and see some of Nolan's tips and technique for fishing the area.
This is the Guide's Guide.
Alright, we made it onto the water with Nolan here from Parksville Boathouse. We're out at French Creek.
We're gonna head out to the French Creek humps. I've been fishing this area for 20 years now, basically my backyard. So we're gonna head out there. We're probably gonna start with a hoochie on one side and a spoon on the other, and we'll see kind of what the bait's doing. We might switch to plugs. That's kind of my go-to here, is to run plugs. So come with us, and now let's go catch some fish. One of the main hoochies I run out here is a green splatterback hoochie. Probably one of the best producers around here. Always pair it up with a green flasher. I'm gonna try these new West Coast Fishing Tackle flashers. They just came out. I've used their stuff in the past and it seemed to work pretty good, so I'm excited to try some of these, and they seem to shine quite nicely, so we'll see how they work.
Right on, Nolan. How long is your leader on that hoochie?
I usually run this time of year 28 to 32 inches. The fish are a bit more active. Later in the season, we'll, fish 36, 40 even sometimes with a hoochie when they really start to slow down. But 28, 32, you can pretty much get away with all year round and you don't have any issues with it.
This episode is brought to you by Parksville Boathouse, your full-service boat dealer and chandlery. Gone Fishing, serving Vancouver Island and beyond for over 30 years. West Coast Fishing Tackle, the quality anglers deserve.
Alright, what do you got here there, Nolan?
Don't worry about it. No, I'm just kidding. It's the Halo No Banana Spoon by West Coast Fishing Tackle. They just came out too, and haven't got to use it yet. This is my first time out this year, but man, they look good.
They do look good.
And the No Banana Spoon out here in a skinny G kind of pattern is
classic color.
Yeah, it's very good out here. So I have a really good feeling about this guy. So
yeah, that's awesome. It's one of the spoons I like to fish out here as well, along with the Irish Cream. I got second place at the French Creek Derby a few years ago using the Irish Cream, exact same.
I got a box full of Irish Creams.
Yeah, it's perfect.
It's one of the staples for sure.
Exactly.
So yeah, but we're gonna try this guy first, and then we might have to switch to the Irish Cream, but I don't think we'll have an issue with this.
I've fished out here quite a bit. I really like Parksville. It's decently close for me to come up from Lake 𝗂𝗯𝗃. I usually find myself fishing somewhere in the neighborhood of 183 odd feet, somewhere in that neighborhood.
Yeah, most of the water we fish sits around that 200 mark until we get later into the evening. So yeah, you're usually 180 to 220 on the rigger in that 200 foot water mark. And you really can't go wrong there. And then as it gets later into the evening, the bait pushes in.
Right.
And we end up coming into 140, even 100 feet of water sometimes.
Yeah, so you'll fish that beach there along
absolutely.
That side.
Come right into the beach. It really stacks up with bait usually at night. And that's usually when we put the trolling gear away and start busting out the jigs.
Yeah, a lot of guys jig around here. It's not something that I've tried a whole lot of yet, but James and I were actually very close to Parksville, just fishing up towards the 𝗂𝗯𝗃 area there, about halfway. And we were jigging with a herring-aid candlefish and an 8 ounce, and ended up getting a nice 8-9 pound salmon out there. That was a really fun fight, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. We didn't expect that. We were looking for link cod and ended up hitting the salmon.
Yeah, that's always fun.
One of the really neat things about this area is you don't need a huge boat to fish it. We're in a 20-foot boat today. There's guys out here you're going to see in the water that are 12, 15, 16-foot tinnies. Really good boat launch, 2 ramps, big dock space, and lots of parking. There's even a small restaurant. So it's a great location to base yourself out of. And the majority of the time here, sort of June, July, August, September, it's pretty calm and a great fishery.
To touch base on what you were saying about not needing a large boat for out front of French Creek, as you can see today, it's pretty lumpy out here. The northwest kicked up. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna just run into it, head on, get up to the humps, and then we're gonna turn around and just troll with the wind back and do a full, nice long tack. It's a little easier, especially if you're by yourself, to try to steer the boat and run gear by yourself. The waves kind of keep you going in a nice straight direction. If you're going into it, then your nose is gonna be all over the place and you have a heck of a time trying to stay straight.
We saw the bait down there. At 2:13, I dropped the downrigger at the 15-degree angle to 255 feet, and 5 seconds later, we hit a fish.
Never seen you move so fast. I didn't know you were that agile.
Not bad, eh, for an old bugger.
That was a good hit too, that one.
Yeah, I popped it right off the clip. I
Yeah.
love when that happens. Oh, there we go. Woohoo! He's alive.
Yeah.
That's a better fish.
Oh, look at this one go.
Yeah, that guy hit hard again.
Yeah, that was a good one for sure, yeah.
Nolan was just up there talking about how the bait was right on the bottom. The first fish, we're in about 232 feet of water, hit at 184 on the downrigger.
A little suspended, yeah. for
And
sure.
this guy, I think I dropped to 250, 255.
Yeah, so with the angle of the downrigger, like I was talking about before I got rudely interrupted by that last fish,
Yep.
if you're 245-ish on the downrigger, that deep, you're probably fishing that 200, 210 maybe on the rigger with the angle, right? So,
Yep.
there you go. One tip I always like to do is you don't want to be dragging your expensive reels on the floor of the boat, right? So basically what you want to do is you want to put your gear out like you normally do. I like to run anywhere 10, 15 feet behind the cannonball. And then basically what you want to do is just strip out line and just shoot that rod to the nose of the boat. And then your line comes right into your hand right here. You can grab it, put it in your clip. Then you're not dragging or pulling on your tip weird or anything like that. And just saves your reel from getting scratched and easier on the gear. One other thing I'll show you too, just for a tip, is out here, clips always on the hard setting. And then what I like to do is I like to put my line all the way back into the clip. Just with the amount of pressure, that deep fishing, 200, 220, there's gonna be a lot of tension, especially when you have your rods cranked right over. So you like to have that deep in the clip so you don't get down to 200 and then pop your clip and then have to reset.
So you can see what Nolan did here. He ran up to the north into that wind that he was talking about earlier. We've turned the boat around. It's easier to run the gear when the wind's behind us. And we've gone up to the top hump, and then we're now working our way down between the top hump, which is here, and down in between the other hump on a bit of an angle.
Okay guys, another thing I'd like to touch base on here is the angle of your downriggers. So what we're always looking for when we're out here is a 45-degree angle, a good pull. Obviously fishing a little deeper, you're gonna get more than 45. There's a fish on.
Fish on! Oh yeah!
Catch and release in this area, so we're gonna pop this guy off here. Yeah, it's a beauty. That'd be a perfect slot size fish later in the season. Just like that, single barbless hook, gone.
That's my secret number. Really nice Chinook we caught there. We got it on the Chartreuse West Coast Fishing Tackle Flasher and the Halo No Bananas Spoon. Really nice fish that we released, and it was perfect for within that slot limit. So make sure you guys check your regs when you're fishing these kind of areas to make sure that you're within the regulations for fisheries.
Just going over some bait right now. Nice bait ball there, so we're gonna drop right into that. Oh, we got some more coming there. It's a good sized one, so hopefully we can pick up another one here.
We're sitting here just off of French Creek. Why don't you give us a little bit of bearings on where exactly we are and what's sort of around us?
Yeah, so we're just on the large hump right now, turned heading back towards the marina where we came from. So to my right on the inside, you have all of French Creek and into Eagle Crest-𝗂𝗯𝗃 area. To my left, you have 𝗦𝘂𝗂𝗃𝗘 Island, Sangster, the Infinities, and then basically our nose is facing right down towards Bolinas, Gerald, and Mistaken Island.
One of my favorite spots is to head up the little 𝗂𝗯𝗃 over there. Fish that in August, which is really nice. Hornby can be a decent fishery, especially if you launch a little further north. You can kind of tuck in behind Hornby Island on the northwest like it is right now,
Right.
and you get a little bit calmer water. You got 𝗦𝘂𝗃𝗃 and Sangster, which are also really good fisheries for salmon. Sangster's a great area also for some bottom fishing as well. So you can get out there and really pound the bottom. You get your lings, you get your rockfish there, and it's a really neat area because we're kind of in between the islands here. We got French Creek off to the right, like Nolan was saying. And then we've got 𝗦𝘂𝗧𝗏 and sangster off to the left here. And this is a bit of a channel where you can see some really nice marine life as well. You get the gray whales, the sperm whales, you get the odd orca coming through here once in a while. You do see the eagles from time to time where you're a little closer to shore. And it's just a really great area to come out and experience the fishery.
Yeah, lots of humpbacks, lots of orcas. You know, over the past 10 years probably we're getting close to now, the herring have really made a recovery coming back here and spawning. And French Creek's kind of a main hub and kind of the last main stop too down island that they spawn on. So we get quite a bit of herring come back here, and we get lots of juvenile herring in the spring. The hatches, right?
Yeah,
so
definitely.
We get good bait all throughout the year, and it's really brought a lot of marine life in here.
So people talk about fishing the bottom because the bait's on the bottom, particularly this time of year. If you're going to take it down to the bottom, we're in 213 feet right now, and on the downrigger it says I've only dropped it to 198. I'm going to keep dropping this, and if you watch that rod tip on that rod, I'm going to keep dropping this until the downrigger ball actually hits the bottom. We're at 230, 238, 245. Remember, we're 213 feet of water. 258, 265, and we finally hit the bottom. I'm going to leave it there for a couple of seconds, and I'm going to drop it down again so we hit the bottom again. Fish on, I think. We're in them again. Way to go, Nolan.
Trying to eat some breakfast here.
It's always when they hit, right? When your hands are busy.
Fish out of their plans. On, you're on. Check, 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 check. Yeah, I think you're in.
Yeah, we're in.
Just like that, double header. James wanted to join the circus.
I noticed that yours hit when mine was out of the
Switch
water.
aside.
Woohoo, there we go. So, right down the bottom, Nolan, nice work, man. You got us onto the fish today.
It was my turn to catch a fish, and finally it happened. And you have to try to outdo me. Get one of your own.
Coming across, we'll switch sides. Well, you can see Nolan's flasher coming across the surface. His went over to the port side of the boat, so I came underneath him. Trying not to get our lines crossed, and then when his came up to the top, it went back over to the starboard side of the boat, so we just switched sides. We don't want to get those lines crossed.
Just an undersized one here, right through the nose.
Nice work.
Thank you, sir.
Released unharmed.
You really want to focus on making sure the fish are as healthy as possible. So we don't want to touch the fish at all with our hands. It's all just line release with a gaff.
So yeah, what we've got down right now is the spatterback hoochie on the starboard side, right here. And then we've got the No Bananas Halo with the chartreuse flasher on the port side over here, and both of them are hitting really well. James is scraping the bottom looking for some fish. We were suspended on this side at about
185,
probably, yeah,
I think.
185, so somewhere in the neighborhood of 60 feet from the bottom. And we're still catching fish, so it's just an awesome day.
So that's what we've been using on this side of the boat. It's picked up a couple of fish so far today. We have the chartreuse electro mirror flasher from West Coast Fishing Tackle, and we have one of their Halo spoons. This is the No Bananas, and you can see the knot we've tied down there is a loop knot. And what's great about that is it lets the spoon just swim completely freely and gets a lot more action out of it.
Yeah, so these are some of the select lures that I've used over the years. I mean, everything's going to change depending on the year and the bait size and everything like that, but you can basically come to French Creek, throw any one of these on, and you'll be successful. For hoochies, green splatterbacks, 𝗦𝘂𝗯𝗲s, Army Truck hoochies, either in cuttlefish or just a regular. Go-to for spoons out here, Skinny G by Gibbs in the Irish Cream's very good, so is the Herring Aid. And, you have the West Coast Fishing Tackle Halo series. For plugs, early season, 118 727s. This is a 118. It's very good out here. For glow plugs, 602s. This is a 652. It's very good. And a 602 UV, so you have a glow belly and the UV sides.
And Nolan, when you're fishing those plugs, you're fishing them obviously without flashers. How far behind your release clip would you be with those plugs?
I usually put them like 30 feet.
Okay.
Yeah, I like to get them out there. The farther they are behind the boat, that a little bit more distance they can travel outside to side.
Yep.
So it just makes a little bit more of a swimming pattern for them.
And as the season progresses and the herring or the bait starts to get larger and larger, do you switch up in sizes for plugs?
You can for sure. You can basically fish a 6-inch plug 12 months a year here and get them. Same with a 7-inch and a 5-inch. But once you get into that big bait, especially at the end of the season, the bait's very big. You can run 7-inch plugs and have a lot of success on them.
All right, guys,
Great
4
day.
fish in
Way
the
to
boat.
go, boys.
That was awesome.
Woo, 4 for 4.
Wouldn't
Thanks
do
again,
any of
Nolan.
us.
Hoochies on one side, spoons on the other. You put us into the fish. What a day.
That was awesome. That was super fun. We had a great day with you, Nolan.
Thanks
All
for
the
coming
tips
out.
and tricks you shared, from the spoons to the lures to the flashers to James fishing deep and dragging bottom to me fishing suspended. All the different things in this area. I think people are going to find it very helpful to come out here and maximize their fishing experience out on the water. What do you think?
Great day, Nolan. Really learned a lot. Really appreciate, again, you taking your time to do
of
this.
course.
And hopefully we've given you the opportunity to improve your ability to come out here to the Parksville area, French Creek Marina, and catch some fish when you're here.
Yeah, absolutely, guys.
And an absolutely huge thank you to Parksville Boathouse for donating this boat for today's episode. We really appreciate that. And we can't wait to come out again and maybe fish a night bite with you.
Oh, we'll have you out for sure.
Awesome. Well, thanks
All right,
very
man.
much.
Yeah,
really
you betcha.
appreciate
Thanks,
it.
guys.
Thanks, Nolan.
Thank you
Appreciate
very
it.
much.
This episode is brought to you by Parksville Boathouse, your full-service boat dealer and chandlery. Gone Fishing, serving Vancouver Island and beyond for over 30 years. West Coast Fishing Tackle, the quality anglers deserve.